In speaking or doing media interviews over the years, there's always been a "where was the board" type business scandal that's just broken somewhere that always gives me something topical to talk about. Enron, BP, Petrobras, Olympus, the list goes on and on. The current hot scandal is Swiss banking giant HSBC, with multi-decade, multinational charges of aiding in tax evasion and criminal activities. It's today's love-to-hate them symbol of big banking and corporate corruption. As with most other major corporations, HSBC would seem to have strong board oversight and control baked into its structure. Aside from its audit committee, HSBC Group's board also has a conduct and values committee, a group risk committee, and a financial system vulnerabilities committee. There seem to be plenty of watchmen on duty in the boardroom, and a massive financial player like this has to have world-class controls in place. Now, cynics will say, well, what do you expect from the board of a company that helps people hide money? Maybe, but there have been too many other cases of major companies where boards have been caught short by fraud, by incompetence, by ignored risks, by misbehaviors within the organization. The companies overall had nothing to gain and much to lose by these blow-ups, and there was no hint that the board was trying to look the other way. If something fails repeatedly, we have to ask why. Now, some would say that boards themselves are the failure, but the boardroom model we have doesn't seem destined for replacement anytime soon. As Winston Churchill said of democracy, it's the worst possible way of governing things except for all the alternatives we've tried. Maybe a better focus is the system of internal controls that boards depend on to spot trouble, and why these protections so often let the board down. Do financial risk and operational controls focus too much on what's easy to measure rather than what really counts? If your control structure is weak, will the board have any way of knowing about it? If a problem is uncovered, does an alarm sound loudly and constantly enough that the board just can't ignore it? And finally, should boards consider an outside audit of their inside controls? There are no quick answers for any of these questions, but one thing seems certain: our system of internal corporate control doesn't control well enough. I'm Ralph Ward from the Boardroom for March.